Hello and welcome to another reseller sales report where I share my numbers as a part-time reseller on eBay and Poshmark. Thank you for joining me for this video. My name is Eileen. Welcome to Hustle and Sew, my channel where I talk all about reselling, making multiple streams of income, and working from home. I like to share my numbers so that you can see a realistic look at what is possible with a reselling business as a part-time reseller. I'm a full-time self-employed entrepreneur and reselling is one of my forms of income, but it is more of a side hustle than anything at this point because we live in an RV. If you've never watched one of these videos before, I will share my total sales for the month along with what my profit was for the month after fees, cost of goods, shipping, and also the fulfillment company that I use. Since I live in an RV, I can't store items here, so I send most of my items to a fulfillment company, and they store and ship items for me. Although I am stationary right now in my sister's driveway. We're staying at her house, so this is just kind of my office right now. So I do have boxes of stuff that I got through liquidation that I shared in kind of a work with me video where I was listing some shoes, and I'm trying to sell off as many of those shoes as possible before we leave in January so that I can save on the fulfillment fees. So that's just kind of a disclaimer of how this kind of works. So I'm going to jump onto the computer and share with you now. All right, now we are in my Vendoo account. If you haven't heard of Vendoo, it is a reseller tool where you can kind of manage your inventory, cross-post items, see analytics, all that kind of cool stuff. I will leave a link down below for my affiliate link where you can get 30% off your first month if you're interested. And this is what I use for everything. So let me clear this out and move me to the top here so I'm not in the way. Oh no, I'm scrolling by accident. All right, we're gonna go to analytics and see how we did in the month of November. So my total revenue was $1,523, which is much higher than previous months. For comparison, let's see, year to date. I think this might be my highest month this year. Yep, as you can see, this is my highest month this year by far. So $1,500 approximately. And then it is also my highest month in profit, which was $842.92. Last month was kind of the runner-up, and this month is much higher. So I'm super happy with this, and a lot of this is due to the liquidation lot that I purchased in October, and I'm finally selling. Okay, let's go back to November so I can see everything. All right, so you will see that I sold 30 items in the month of November. This graph isn't entirely accurate because I don't often pay attention to the dates. I'm usually just quickly putting in when things sold. So sometimes I won't put something in as sold until a couple days later. So like the roller coaster that reselling is, this isn't totally accurate on what days they sold. I just make sure it's within a correct month so that I know that. I sold 30 items, which is higher than the 27 I sold the last period. I only listed 26 items, and then my average sale price has gone up quite a bit to $50.77, and that is entirely because of the types of items I'm selling. A lot of shoes from that liquidation lot. So let's look at marketplace revenue and profit. So you'll see about half of my revenue was from eBay. I made $756.10 on there, and then $622 on Poshmark, and then this other category, which is $144.90. I have been selling some of the shoes in a Facebook group that I'm part of. I'm just finding that I don't have time to get all of these listed, and so the ones that aren't going to sell for quite as much on eBay, I'm just unloading on there. I'm still making a really good profit. I think I'm still making in between like $25 and $35 per item in profit, which is great. But it's just allowing me to sell things faster. So I just wanted to explain that this other category is Facebook groups. My top selling category, understandably, is clothing, shoes, and accessories, and then home and garden, and then computers, tablets, and networking. My top selling subcategory is women's athletic shoes, then boots, and then for women, and then boots for men, and then this is blank. I don't know what that means, honestly. And then sweaters. Going down to average sale by marketplace, my average sale across the board is about $50. Because of those shoes, I've been selling a lot of them for around $50. So eBay is $50.41, Poshmark is $51.83 on average, and then the Facebook marketplace is $48.30 on average. My top selling brand is Zero because I've sold 10 of those shoes in November, out of 150 pairs, by the way, that I still need to get all listed. Number of items sold by marketplace, eBay was 15, Poshmark was 12, and Facebook marketplace was 3. So those are my numbers for the month of November, and as always, we will go over to Toggle and check out how much time I spent working, because that is also a really important aspect If I profited, let's see, what is it? $842 working like 10 hours, that's pretty good. If I profited $842 working like 80 hours, that's not as good. So we're going to log in here to Toggle Track. This is a completely free tool that I use to track my time so I know what I'm spending my time on and if it's worth it. So if I see I'm spending a lot of time on something that's not bringing me a lot of income, I can see that in my reports and adjust accordingly. Finally got it to load. So we are going to go to last month, which was November. I worked a total of 60 hours last month, but like I said, reselling is not my main source of income. I spent the most time freelance writing. Reselling was 6% of the time that I spent, and that is 3 hours and 54 minutes. So we're going to look at reselling. I spent 2 hours and 20 minutes listing. I spent 3 minutes relisting on Vendoo. I spent 17 minutes removing solds. I spent an hour and 5 minutes shipping, and this is also removing solds. I don't know why I just put sold there. I do want to note that I did forget to put in how much time I spent taking photos of items. I know that I spent about an hour on one day and then maybe like 15 minutes another day. So let's just put this at about 5.5 hours to be a little more accurate. So about 5.5 hours. And again, we made about $800, a little bit more than that in profit. So I think that's pretty good. So now I'm going to jump back to full screen so we can talk about what sold. All right. So I'm going to be referencing the numbers on my laptop because I have not memorized them all. Let's start with my worst sale. My worst sale was a pair of Ralph Lauren boys pants. They were like dress pants. And I believe I got them at I don't even know where I got them. I got a $9 offer on them. They had been listed for months and months, and I just knew at that point I was not going to sell them for very much. So I just took the $9 offer. It was the only interest I've had so far. They paid $12.75 total. Because my shipping fee was $4.75. I just do a flat rate across the board for most items just to make it easy. And then my cost of goods was $1.99. So it sounds like I bought it at a thrift store. I just don't remember. So my profit was negative 55 cents. I lost 55 cents on that pair of pants. But this is the first time in a while that I've reported a loss on an item individually. So that's not too bad. 55 cents, I can take that loss. So my top sale of the month based on profit, not necessarily sold price, was an Arc'teryx hoodie. I literally had this sitting in my closet in my office for over a year because it was pilly and not pilly. It had like fuzz on it, and I lint rolled it 1,000 times, but it was like embedded in the fleece inside. So I just noted that in the listing and just finally threw it up over the last couple of months because I just needed to get it sold. So it finally sold. I had it up for $150 because that's what comps told me. But I eventually took an offer for $99. My cost of goods was $1 because I got it at the bins like literally 2 or 3 years ago. So my profit on that was $73.20. I actually sold 2 items for $100, but after fees and cost of goods, I didn't make as much profit on those, even though I sold them for $1 more, but I will cover those in a second. So here are my sales over 30. I sold about 30 items this month. I want to say close to half of them were over $30. A lot of them sold for a really good price because I have that liquidation lot of brand new shoes that I know there's demand for. So that was a really good buy for me. And then I do have a lot of really low sales that I'm not going to share because that's not going to be super helpful to you. Just stuff that kind of sat for a long time, and I'm just taking offers on them to get things moving before the end of the year. So let's start with eBay. I'm going to be talking a lot about the zero shoes that I bought because that's a lot of what's selling. I threw up a bunch at auction at a slightly lower price than they're selling for at Buy It Now, just to kind of move things so that I don't have to send them to my fulfillment company and I can get my money back quickly. So I'm going to share with you that I'm still making a really good profit on them, but I just want to warn you that out of the probably 15 almost items on here, a lot of them are those shoes. So let's start with eBay. eBay numbers include shipping because the buyer pays me shipping, whereas Poshmark, the buyer, I don't have anything to do with the shipping price, so just take that as a note. So on eBay, I sold a pair of zero Tari boots for $71.95. My cost of goods for all the zero shoes was about $17.50. So my profit on that was $33.63. I sold a pair of zero Alpine men's snow boots. The total was $113.46. They actually sold for $100 plus shipping. The cost of goods $17.50, so my profit was $59.07. I sold a pair of zero Mika boots. These had like a little flaw that I actually noticed in the work with me video that I was doing when I was doing photographs. It was like the little eyelet popped out, And I did take a picture of that and I did note it, and I haven't had a return request, so hopefully everything's good with that. Those sold for a total of $65.94. Cost of goods was $17.50, so after everything, including fees, I'm just not listing the fees because all you need to know is what I sold it for and what I got, right? After everything, my profit was $26.03. I sold another pair of Zero Tari boots for $65.94 total, and my profit was $36.45. Another pair of Tari boots for $77.95, and my profit was $36.45. And then my last pair of Zero shoes that I sold on eBay was a pair of HFS running shoes. Those sold for $70 free shipping. After cost of goods and fees and everything, I made $37.02. And then I did sell 3 things on eBay over $30 that were not Zero shoes. One of them was a Sony Color print pack, and I just found these at the bins. I didn't know what they were, but they looked interesting, so I looked them up and I saw that they sold for a decent price, so I lotted a lot of 4 together, and I sold that lot for $64.75 total with shipping. My cost of goods on that was about $1.50 because I got them at the bins, so my profit was $45.42. I sold an Arata Silent Journey dress. I think this might be maybe an Anthropologie brand. I'm not 100% sure. It sold for $45.32 total, and I paid $8.99 at a regular Goodwill for that. So my profit on that was $17.11. And then I sold a Smart Wool hoodie that I got at the bins, and that sold for $57.19 after everything. I paid 77 cents at the bins, and my profit was $36.40. And now we are on to my Poshmark sales that I sold for over $30. I sold another pair of Zero men's Alpine snow boots for $100 as well. My profit on that was $58.70. So I sold a pair of Wool X leggings, and these were interesting because they're just black leggings, but they're made of mostly wool. But I could just tell by touching them that they weren't just like cheap leggings, so that's why I looked at them. But otherwise, just looking at them, you would have no idea they have any value. I saw they said Wool X and they were made of wool, so I looked them up. I ended up selling them for $72. My cost of goods was $7, so I made a $44 profit. Next up is a pair of Clark's boots. These have been listed for, I want to say at least 6 months. I remember the garage sale I got them from because it was advertised as a reseller garage sale, like they were clearing out their inventory. I paid $4 for them. I sold them for $60 and I made $37 profit. Next, I sold a pair of Lems boots, which is similar to Zero. These are like minimalist barefoot shoes. And I bought them for myself and I just didn't find them comfortable. So after trying them on, I just never wore them. So I just kept them in the box and I finally got them listed. I just put a cost of goods of $0 because they were originally mine. And I didn't buy them for the business. So my profit on that was $63. I sold a pair of Lululemon leggings. This was like more of a rare print. I didn't see very many comps for it. They sold for $60. I paid $9 at Goodwill and my profit was $34. And then the last thing was a Ring video doorbell from our own house. So I paid $0 for it. I sold it for $38 and my profit was $26. So I'm super happy with how I did last month. Obviously, you could see when I showed you my numbers that I did a lot better last month than I did the entire year. And I have this liquidation lot that I bought to thank. Thankfully, I had the knowledge to know that those shoes sell really well because I personally wear that brand of shoes. And I know all about minimalist shoes and barefoot shoes and all that kind of stuff. So it's something that I already knew about. So I'm going to continue listing those shoes. I think I have over 100 pairs still after the items that I've listed and sent to my fulfillment company and the items that have already sold. I probably have close to 100 pairs, I would guess. I haven't counted, but I do need to get more listed. I just did another round through the Facebook group, so I've sent out 13 that I need to go drop off today. So that's another 13 out the door. So I'll talk about that next month. But my main goal for December is to just get every single one of them listed and then at the end of the month ship them all out to eBliss, which is my fulfillment company, so that they can ship them for me when they sell. And then my second goal is to finally list a Flip lot. I shared in my last video that I want to start using Flip. I've used it a couple of times over a year ago, I want to say. It's kind of like a consignment app. So they kind of connect people who are resellers with people who want to sell things, but they don't want to sell them themselves. So I'm just going to list a bunch of stuff that I was personally going to list, but I don't have time to do on there, and then we will split the profits. I have a referral link if you want to go ahead and use that to sign up. You can either sign up as someone who wants to get consignment items and split the money with the seller, or someone who wants to unload a bunch of stuff and have someone else sell it for you. So either way works. depending on what you're looking for. So that is pretty much it for today. I'm excited to see how December's numbers are because I am selling more and more of these shoes and it is bringing me pretty quick profit. I think that maybe by the end of December, I can pretty much almost pay myself back, and then after that, everything will be profit. So I'm really excited about that, and I will see you in January with my December reseller report. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.